come back in my room. To recap the Calgary Flames series with the Anaheim Ducks. And unfortunately, the Find-A-Way Flames ran out of ways to find. The Ducks just proved to be way too much. They dominated Calgary at first, and it looked like they were done for. Then Calgary fought back, and they even won a game. And even the games they lost, they were just right in there. And then Matt Stajan right into Corey Perry, and Perry falls in the ice, and he's writhing, and then he just turns into a puddle. And then 5 minutes later, just like the Terminator, put me in, coach. Freaking how is he back in that game, let alone scoring the overtime winner? His leg went, can't do it because it's not supposed to. Point being, Calgary made a go of it. They made a good go of it. Let's do the Flames eulogy first and then talk about that ridiculous automatron that is the Anaheim Ducks. You know, everyone's calling this year's Calgary Flames the Colorado Avalanche of last year, and I just don't, I get it, but I don't quite see it that way. Look, in terms of possession, Calgary, not so great. But there's a lot of things to love about the Flames. I mean, there's a reason people loved them. I made fun of them earlier this season because of the stereotype that the Flames are just a lunch pail team and they hard work and they go to work and hard work. Well, it's true. Shift in, shift out. They work damn hard. And in the summer, they said our goaltending's not so good, so they went out and they improved their goaltending. Where it differs from Colorado is they had Vezina caliber goaltending, whereas the Flames this year, they had pretty good goaltending, I guess. And then Johnny Gaudreau, Johnny Hockey, comes into the lineup and doesn't just stay in the lineup, destroys everything, and he might even win the Calder, which is going to look hilarious if it happens. The trophy's got to be as tall as he is. And now to accept his Calder trophy, I will clear the stage for Johnny Gaudreau, everybody. Thank you all. No, really, thank you. It means so much to get this award. He's little, is the joke. Is it okay? You got it? Okay, good. It's funny because even with the season that Gaudreau had, there's still talk about some of the players in the top 5, top 10 of this upcoming draft, and they're going, but is size an issue? The size of your brain is an issue! But anyway, look, here's what the Calgary Flames have going for them. Mark Giordano's gonna be back, and you gotta hope that he continues to have the revelation of a season that he had. And behind him, you got guys that can eat up all those minutes. Chris Russell, TJ Brody has just been fantastic. And just like the Colorado Avalanche of last year, so maybe you gotta be careful, but so many of the Flames forwards, many of their best ones, are under 25. Meaning, it's a decent assumption that they're probably only gonna get better. Monahan's probably only gonna get better. Gaudreau, if he can just maintain his rookie pace, I think that's going to be pretty sweet. Hey, how about that little Sam Bennett character? How about that? He's a huge variable in the lineup, but also Yuri Hoodler. Is he going to be able to repeat that ridiculous season? Looking at the NHL scoring leaders like, all right, I got to get my eyes checked. I mean, look, with the Flames, here's what I would say. Cautious optimism. I don't want to say too much skepticism, that's the Leafs' job. You had a fun season, you had a fun run, it came to an end with a team that's in the Western Conference Final. Honestly, the worst thing I think the Flames could do this summer is too much. Don't go making these huge brash moves, shipping guys out and bringing guys in. You got a bright, talented young core, keep it that way, find a way to get a little better at possession, and I think you're good. And I mean, holy smokes, I don't think any team in the league became everyone's second team in the way that the Flames did in these playoffs. Unsustainable? Maybe, but they won over a lot of hearts. Now the Ducks, with Corey Perry on one knee, or both, or three, I don't know. And Ryan Getzlaf being his Ryan Getz-self. And Matt Bolesky doing his Corey Perry impression. At this point, do you think Matt Bolesky wakes up to Shane McMahon's old entrance music? Here comes the money! Here we go! I'm Matt Bolesky! He made up his own version. Jakob Silfverberg's been very underrated in these playoffs. Youngins like Emerson Needham contributing, Anderson and Net, that little chestnut, and probably the most balanced, stable D-core remaining in these playoffs. They're pretty big, they're pretty skilled, they know how to put up points, and there isn't a huge gap between the guy who gets the most minutes and the guy who gets the least. Which, as I've mentioned before, I think Chicago is going to have a hell of a time. Because Chicago was already running with basically 5 defensemen. With Roosevelt out, that's not going to get any more fun. But aside from size and nastiness and talent and, you know, all those very important things, the Ducks have something extremely important in the playoffs. Guys like Ryan Kessler, guys like Corey Perry, they just know what they can get away with in the playoffs. It's hilarious because you see it in the NHL every single season. I've seen it in other sports, seen it in the NBA with the Raptors. You see how a team plays during the regular season. You see the talent, and then you see their opponent in the playoffs. You see how they match up, and then the playoffs start and you go, oh, one of these teams has been here before. And guys like Perry and Kessler and basically the whole Ducks, oh, they've been here before. And this is the thing I wonder about with the Ducks. In the first round, the Ducks got a mostly inexperienced Winnipeg Jets team with goaltending that a lot of people would call kind of questionable, save for that hot run at the end of the season that made me look silly. Then in come the Calgary Flames, and again, a young, mostly inexperienced playoff team with goaltending that wasn't bad, but wasn't the best. Kari Ramos stood on his face a couple times. You follow that up with the Chicago Blackhawks. They're not some new hot shot on the scene. They have a black belt in the playoffs. And just like the Ducks, most of them are pretty rested. So when that series starts up, it could be a little rusty, or it could just be all out hell in a cell until a victor is declared. And I can't wait. Oh, the annual tradition of watching the Blackhawks in the Western Conference Final. So, what do you think about the Calgary Flames? How do you think they did this season? How do you think they fared in the playoffs? And how do you think they will fare moving forward? And plain and simple, do the Anaheim Ducks have what it takes to beat the Chicago Blackhawks? So that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click a like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends, all of them. And I will see you next time. I'm gonna shoot a video right now, actually. There was another Canadian team.